Hello everyone, this is Brian Bentley at CoinOpTV bringing a gameplay and commentary for Kuni II Revenant Kingdom on the PlayStation 4. I hope you watched my original video, which was more of a review of the game. In this particular case, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the Dreamer's Mazes, and at the end I'll talk about something special. At the beginning of the game, they introduced this concept of these optional dungeons called Dreamer's Mazes. There are 9 Dreamer's Mazes spread across the world, and as you do them, you can essentially get there's a lot of times a lot of good weapons, armor, those sort of accessories in the game that you can collect through these optional dungeons. When you collect the Dreamer's Fragments from all 9 dungeons, it enhances your Dreamer's Key in order to open a 10th and a 10th special dungeon. And as you go through the world, the Dreamer's Mazes go from a few levels to, it's like any kind of dungeon, where you go through a couple levels here and a couple levels there, and the 9th one in the snow area, the tundra, I guess we'll call it. It doesn't really have it. Jack Frost's Playground, I think, is the actual name of it. And in that area, it's 18 levels deep. So you're not allowed to save. You only have what you're not allowed to leave without resetting the entire dungeon. You have the stuff on your back, and that's it. And yourself, obviously, and your team. And your higgledies. So I went through, got all 9, and then I started into the 10th Dreamer's Maze here at the Faraway Forest. Now this one is 30 levels deep. You can see on my screen I'm on level 30. And what what they don't tell you is that after the first 10 levels, it gets hard. I mean, it gets hard fast. I'm talking about like a jump of, if you're on danger level 1 in the first 10 levels, we're talking, they're probably level 60 or 70. Once you jump up from 11 to 20, they're in the 90s. And once you go into between 21 and 30, everything's above 100. And then, of course, obviously, each time you gain a danger level, it adds 5 levels to every creature. So I got to the end, and let me tell you, this level 95 Thwomp is he's a beast. He has a couple of different area of effects that he uses. He has close melee that are severely a problem. I'm talking about like one hits type things, and then he has the fire that he pulls out of the floor. Now I will say that as a person who's played many JRPGs and have defeated quite a few, optional bosses, this is not exactly what I would call the most difficult optional boss I've ever fought. I mean, a lot of people always bring up the Ruby and Emerald weapons from Final Fantasy VII, but the one that always has piqued my interest and has always been the bar that I have, compared any optional boss to is Ozma from Final Fantasy IX. That was clear. That still to this day is maybe the hardest boss fight I have ever fought. This one, not so much. Once I leveled up to level 96, it was not. It wasn't quite such a big deal. But the actual dungeon itself can be difficult if you're not at the kind of level that I'm at now. Unfortunately, once you have gone through the dungeon a couple of times, because I would get to like level 29, then I would leave because I obviously couldn't beat the boss. It gets easier. But now that I've done this and I've cleared every side quest and I've cooked my higgledies and I've collected and made armor and I've built up my kingdom, I can say this was the beating this boss and leaving this Dreamer's Maze was the final trophy I needed to complete my platinum. and it's something I'm super proud of. I'm also proud to work here at CoinOpTV, and I hope you like this video. So if you can, go ahead and hit the like button, and be sure to hit the bell, which gives you a notification every time we put up a video. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you next.